You ready?
Yes.
All right, welcome everybody to the Civil Service Commission. My name is Al Gardner. I'm the Vice President of the board, or Vice Chair for Civil Service Commission. And we do have a forum here today. The first thing that we'll do is roll call for introductions here in the room. And then we'll do introductions on those of you who are joining virtually if you'd like to. So we'll start in the room. Al Gardner, Commissioner.
Greg Moore, Commissioner.
Noah Stout, Commissioner.
Gracie Bettis, Executive Director.
Jeanette Jerome, HR Manager.
Sergeant Sheridan, Academy Sergeant, and run the Denver Police Explorer program.
Thank you. All right, those virtually, if you'd like to.
Mary Dulacki, Deputy Director of Safety.
Krista
Wendy Motor, Denver Fire.
McCormick, Denver Auditor's Office.
Ian Lance
All right.
Scooten, Citizen Oversight Board.
Okay. Great. Thank you. So next we want to approve the minutes for my meeting 1/8/25. So I just need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion's been moved. Second. Any one of my other two commissioners.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved properly second. Thank you to accept the minutes from our last meeting, 1/8/25. We're moving to informational items, and we're at the president board updates. We don't have any of those today, so we're going to keep it moving down to now the Denver Police Explorer program, and Sergeant Sheridan, floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me. So I'll try to compact in a quick overview what the program is. So I've been involved in the program. I've been on the department for 24 years, and I've been with the Explorers as an instructor for 22 of that. Just happened to kind of fall into it one day and really liked it, and I've been doing it since. Now run the program. So what it is it's a program for youth between the ages of 15 and 21 years of age. I always say it's in the name, right? They're exploring a career in law enforcement. So what we do is they receive all the training pretty much that your police officers do, right? We start in Denver, we do it different. Every agency has an Explorer post around the metro area. It's a nationwide thing as well. So what we do here in Denver is we kind of do a academy for them, Explorer Recruit Academy. So they do a 13-week academy. Now we only meet on Wednesdays. So when I say weeks, it's a Wednesday. So all our meetings are on Wednesday nights from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Denver Police. So they start as a recruit and they go through that 13 weeks to kind of get the basics of law enforcement, right? We teach them law, leadership is a big one we push with them, right? Uses of force stuff, defensive tactics, things like that. So they know how to arrest people because we do competitions with that where we compete against other explorers around the kind of around the country at some of these conferences and stuff like that. So they get the basics in that recruit academy. Then they graduate and they move on to be a full-fledged explorer. All right. That's when they get more advanced training. So they would do things similar that we teach our recruits, right? They would learn how to handle domestic violence calls. We use the whole facility of the academy. So we use the scenario house there and stuff like that. And so we teach them how to handle domestic violence calls. We teach them how to handle people in crisis, mental health crisis calls. How to handle the most elaborate scenes like shooting scenes and robbery scenes and things like that. And another example of some training they'll do, like tonight, for instance, Canine unit is sending some of their officers over with their canine dogs to put on a class for them about canine searches and stuff like that and do demonstration for canines do. So they take that knowledge and then we go to competitions every year and we compete against all those other Explorer posts that come to it in the state. There's a state organization called LEPAC for Explorers here in Colorado. They put on that for us, a regional conference. So you have people that come up, Dallas PDs come up, and Tucson, Arizona. So literally people from everywhere. And they go to this and we get to spend a week with them there. And they compete in different scenario events where, like I said, that maybe a domestic violence call is a competition, right? And they get judged and stuff like that and they win awards and stuff. So it's really cool because the kids are kind of all immersed in being the police for that week because they're wearing their uniforms. There's other activities other than the competitions and stuff like that. We stay at a college campus, so they're all together in the dorms, and the officers we're all in another dorm, and get that good interaction with them for a whole week. So that's kind of where it comes together for them. I will say that, as you can imagine with them, these kids, a lot of them are starting young. We don't typically have them start when they're 20 or something like that. They can, but our majority of kids are kind of coming in at the younger age, right? And so when we get kids that are coming in at 15, 16 years old, they can stay with us until they're 21 and they can finish out that 21st year, right? So if they turn 21 in February, they can stay till December of that year and finish that year off. So we have kids that come in and, they're with us for 4 or 5 years. And for you guys, as Civil Service Commission, what a greater way for our department and our agencies to recruit, right? Because I have kids that sometimes they come in and they're there 6, 7 years, right? And so usually we have those kids that dedicated, because it's not just the police stuff they're doing. They're also volunteering at community events and stuff like that the department puts on. Maybe you've seen them out there. They have their own kind of style uniform with a dark gray shirt and blue pants, but they'll go to the community events. We've done fingerprinting for kids. They'll do the safety villages like our cadet program does. They'll fill in for that. They'll do the toy drives. They'll do all that stuff. So they're at a lot of this stuff, and they're really in touch with those community stuff. So realistically, what better way for us to recruit kids, right? To come on this job, because you get these kids that are it's volunteer. It's not like cadets are not being paid. They're volunteering these years. That's who we're going to get to keep in the long run as a career, as a police officer. And I will tell you, over the years, I've been doing since 2003 with the Explorer program, and I've seen hundreds. I'm probably in the range of thousands of kids at this point coming through. And out of all of them that have become police officers, we have lost a ton to other agencies, because they look for the Explorers. They're able to do stuff. They'll give them preference points to come on there, things like that, depending how long they were Explorers. So that's one thing we're missing a little bit here. We have a perfect recruitment opportunity here to take people that will do a career. Because as I'm sure you guys see it, and you see the numbers, we have a lot of recruits that are coming on, and it's almost like they're trying it out. Oh, I want to see what it's like to be a police officer, right? And they're an adult, and they do it for a couple of years. And as you see our attrition rates, we're seeing them step out the door. After they're out of training in a year or two from now, they're leaving, right? Where these are the people that we're going to probably be able to hold on to more, right? If that makes sense. So I think maybe working towards something like that with the program might be great, because typically what we see is when they do become recruits and we do hire them on, they are so much more advanced, right? Because they've been doing it for years, right? And I always tell people, it's like when I go do things with teenagers, I'm like, it's like playing sports. You don't just start being an NFL player when you're 21, right? You've been playing since you were a kid, right? So that's kind of what this is. This is, you're playing the game since you're a kid as an explorer in the police world and learning it. And then when they actually transition to doing it in real life, for real, they're so much better off, right? They already know how to play and they're going to stay. And that's simply what we see is a lot of them that have come on the department, and we have them all over the department. We do have a lot on that were our own explorers. We have one that's a lieutenant right now. We have one that's a commander right now. We have people everywhere, but we have lost a lot to other agencies, a lot, way more we've lost than we've kept, So that's something maybe we can work on with you guys. I don't know. We'd like to do that somehow. I don't know what that looks like and what we could get done, but that's kind of a quick overview of the department. You guys, anybody have any questions?
Yes, I have 3. They're easy ones. The first one is, do we keep stats on number of recruits that are hired by DPD year over year, like they would show us some trend data? Because as we talk about adding preference points, things of that nature, exploring those options, it'd be great to see trend data, say over the next 2-3 years. Now we have a solid idea of, okay, we've seen this, now it's worth the investment. Do you keep that, number one, and number two, how long have you kept it?
So I don't have those numbers with me. So
Yeah,
I'd just be
totally
honestly spitballing if I'm going with it.
Right.
Because we put them together a couple of years ago, because I did a presentation with City Council
Okay.
on the Explore program. So over the years, I think, if I remember right, at the time, we kind of looked at over the last, 10 years or something like that, it was about 70 to 80 people that went into law enforcement from our Explorer program. And I think it was only about 10 to 15 people came to Denver,
Okay,
and the rest went somewhere else.
okay. No worries. That would be great in the future if we can have that, just so we can look at that and see what that trend
Maybe
is.
like a one page that has like some vital stats.
Yeah, out of these, this is what we see typically going, and over the last 3 years, this is what's happened. The second question is, how do we identify these explorers? Do you guys recruit them? Do they just come to you? How does that work?
So a lot, right? So we recruit. I'll tell you, of course, 2020, and then we pulled the SROs out of the schools because they did a lot of the recruiting for us, right? Because they're in touch with the kids, right? So I would send them the stuff and they would recruit for us. I'd go to events. When we lost the SROs, we dropped off big time, right? And so I shifted gears to moving towards relying on the counselors in all the schools. So what that looks like right now over the last couple of years is my recruitment is I have a ton of contacts now in DPS. And I push anytime we do an open house event or we're going to bring on new candidates, I push that to them. I also reach outside the metro area as well, because a lot of our kids do come from outside the metro area. And I push that out to all the career counselors around in every high school in this metro area. Which takes me a lot of time, but it does pay off and get us some kids, right? Because we want our own Denver kids, of course, in DPS, but the bottom line is just my honesty is a lot of people don't want to be cops, right? And a lot of people don't want their kids to be cops, and that's a trend I'm seeing as well. I'll have kids that reach out to me like, I saw you got this program and blah, blah, and because we have a website through the city as well. They'll reach out to me, they want to do it, and their parents say no. They don't want to do it. So that makes it very difficult as well. So I reach out to the schools. Okay. I recruit through them. The career counselor thing helps, right? Because they do those kind of testing things to see who's interested in different fields and stuff like that. So it kind of gives them a narrower group to go to see if they're interested in this kind of stuff. Now that we have SROs back, they do a lot of stuff for us too. They're connecting with those kids and stuff like that on a daily basis. So they're getting us people, and we also go to events. So I'll attend events and go speak at them. I'll take explorers with me and speak at events. Sometimes we'll send the explorers to talk to them and stuff like that. And so we do a lot of joint recruitment with cadet program. So usually if they're there somewhere, we're usually there too. And kind of tag team in that event to all the youth that we have.
Got it. Thank you. Last question. What is the program capacity?
So our capacity the most we've ever had is about 56 kids at one time.
Just wanted to idea of scale.
Yeah, we could probably manage up to about 75.
Okay.
Because I have enough instructors to do that right now, which the instructors are volunteer for the program. The majority of them. I do have a allotment of time I can give a certain amount of officers each meeting, but it requires a lot of cops to do this, and a lot of them are just volunteering their time, which is really cool, and I do like that because that means they're doing it for the right reasons, not just because it looks good or something like that, or I'm getting paid, right? They're doing it for the right reasons. So right now we have currently about 25 explorers. I lost a couple because of the new year because they aged out. I lost like 4 at one time because they aged out. So we kind of dropped a little bit, and we just brought on 4 new ones.
Sergeant, what's the age that they age out? Did you say that already?
21.
21? Okay, thanks. Okay, sir.
So I had a couple of questions too. Fascinating program. So is it every Wednesday for 52 weeks and so,
Wow.
So if you have somebody that's 15, they're coming for 5 years, 5 or 6 years, every Wednesday for 52 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Like, how do you balance that out with somebody that's a newbie and somebody that's been there for 4 years?
It's hard. It's a little difficult. So what we do take breaks like school does, right? So we take the school breaks around the holidays. At conference is usually every July. So we'll take a contingent of kids to the conference. About 10 kids go to conference, the other ones stay here. And then we take a week off after that. So we have like a couple little breaks, but for the majority, we're year round. So what we do, like when I explain like the recruit class aspect of it, we'll run 2 classes. We'll have the graduate explorers that are already graduated, and then we'll have the brand new kids that are going through that academy. And once they graduate, they're integrated in. that's when we have to kind of combine those skill sets and kind of interweave their training, because they're at different levels, right? I got a 6-month kid and I got a kid that's been here for 4 years, right? But that's when we also empower them to help the new kid, right? Just like we do on the police department, we have a rank structure in the Explore program. So we have corporals, we have sergeants, we have lieutenant, things like that. So we empower them to bring the new people onto their team and help teach them, right? And guide them and mentor them through it as well.
That's great. I mean, that's a long time, man.
Yeah.
To be committed to doing that. That's great.
That's why I think it's so great,
+1,000 hours.
right? As a recruitment thing for us, like that, these kids are investing a lot of time in the city, a lot of time in the city and themselves. And that's perfect for us.
See, I have one other question. I'm sure you thought about this. So, okay, that's almost like ready-made candidates for the police academy. What would you like to see happen to retain most of those students that we've invested this much time in?
I think something maybe along the lines we do for military personnel to get preference points. Maybe if you're an explorer for a certain amount of time, let's just say 3 years, you get 5 preference points or whatever that looks like. I don't remember what the military preference points are. Is it 5?
Yeah.
Right? So maybe something similar to that. I mean, the service is different. I understand that, but something along those lines, right? So you can't just become an explorer for 6 months and, oh, you get full preference points kind of thing. So maybe how long they spend as an explorer, they receive more points for a certain amount of years. For every year, you maybe get 1.5 points, something like that. So things maybe similar we do to sergeant's exam, lieutenant's exam, where the longer you've been in that position or your seniority, you get more preference points.
So you said that there are explorers all over the country, right?
Yes.
Like, do you know what other places do? Or is that pretty much all you can do is give preference points?
That's the common one I've heard. Yeah, that's the common one I've heard. And I've talked to people, Orange County, California, and Dallas, and everywhere. I got connections everywhere over the years for all this kind of stuff. And it's definitely something that's a conversation piece for everybody. And we're not the only ones struggling. A lot of agencies are too. So of course, sheriff's departments hire a little bit different than we do. They go through the same process, but they have a little more leeway. So that I see a lot of our kids going to sheriff's departments because they're like, oh, you're an explorer. We're expediting you through the process. You know, we're giving you preference points. So a lot of success with that, and they're retaining them.
Thank you.
I have so many questions and I would love to sit down with you maybe a different time.
Sure.
I reached out to Gracie because I did some reading on the Explorer programs and was very, very excited. And you guys asked some great questions. I had a couple just small questions, but again, we really love to, and if even possible, like attend maybe one of those. I can't know if I can commit 4 hours, but I would love to. This is an Alpine is better because I've been on here for a while, but this is kind of like the thing I'm really passionate about. I think it's really important. So I think it's really important work, and I think it's something that we don't lift up enough. And I think we talk about, like we struggle to hire and things like that. It's like, well, where do we go to like the foundation? Which I think this is like the foundation as much as possible, and think this is great. So I would love to attend a meeting. I guess that's questions. So funding structure, there's a relationship with the Scouts. Is that still true? Sorry, like you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Right.
can you tell me a little bit more about those?
So the Boy Scouts is, so the Denver Police Department started an Explorer program in I believe it was like 1981. It went away sometime in the mid 90s. And then an officer that's currently on the job, Joe Maloof, he was an explorer in a different agency or a different state somewhere. And so when he came on the job here, he kind of reinvigorated and got it kind of started back up through the department. So at that time, it was through the Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts supported a lot of that. And we were part of the Boy Scouts. We did turn and go a different direction away from the Boy Scouts, and so did a lot of the metro agencies. Reasons behind it are a lot of their stuff was for their insurance purposes. They kind of had some weird guidelines for us, right? Like maybe you've seen that with Boy Scouts and stuff like that. We'll be like, if you have one kid, you have to have 2 adults with that one kid. You can't be alone with them. Well, they do ride-alongs in police cars. They're with one police officer. We can't do that kind of stuff. So we couldn't, and then they were like, well, our insurance won't cover you then.
Okay.
Well, we can't meet those needs then. So we had to look towards a different direction. So a lot of the agencies around here, because of the changes of the insurance policies they put out, got away from the Boy Scouts.
Okay, that's cleaner probably. So funding all from the city, all through which budget stream, I guess I would say.
So we do not currently have any funding at all through the city.
Okay,
Our funding is through the foundation.
okay,
The
okay.
foundation
Thank you.
gives us donations from donors. They've been doing that for several years, so the conferences and stuff is traditionally what they've been paying for every year, because we only had a little bit of money, which that still costs a lot of money. It's like when I take 10 kids and the cops too, since we're the largest agency, we put on a lot of the competitions. And it's like anywhere, any given year, it's like $8,000 to $10,000 to take, 10, 15, 20 people, whatever we take that year. We just currently got a big donation from a donor specifically for the Explore program. So an example, we paid for conference this year. And then I was just the other day, Megan Pletcher, I was able to order $4,500 worth of uniforms because we ran out of uniforms for kids. So that's what keeps us going, is that budget there. Or we do fundraisers as well.
Yeah.
The kids will do fundraisers like butter braids and the typical ones we all have seen. We'll do that kind of stuff. And the kids will do that to raise money to do different things.
Thank you so much. I have one last question. Again, we'll love to grab your card or contact information so I can bother you later. But I've been really fascinated. I would love an update on this Safety for Future stuff, the cadet program itself. Can you talk to me about, is there a direct pipeline? What's that relationship like? I'll just say, sorry to soapbox real quick. Cadet program to me is like, I wouldn't, maybe a hidden gem. It's pretty decently funded, I would say. And there's a lot of resources there. And I've always felt that we could do more to get those, like to actually get those kids from this program, which we're paying for a lot, and then to get them actually into uniform in Denver. And I think like we lose a lot of those. And we've talked about this at different times. And it seems like if a student were to go through this program, commit 1,000+ hours, let's say, and then goes through the cadet program, I imagine that's probably, we're going to land them at some level. And that was a lot of editorializing, but could you explain if there's any like what the relationship, how that pipeline or,
Yes, sir. So actually, it is something I've been trying to do for years, honestly, with the cadet program. And we've always worked with them, like at recruiting events, like I talked about and stuff. But several years back, you went like, 7, 8 years back, we kind of did a push to try to get them to take our Explorers and look at the preference for them, right? And the director running it at the time, we kind of got on the same page with it. And they didn't necessarily have preference points, but they actually looked towards our Explorers, and they were taking quite a bit of them every hiring cycle. At least 2 or 3 would go, which was good. And then as of late, working with the director of safety, he was an Explorer that way back when. And so we did our presentation to city council, and him and I spoke at that and different things. And we were able to now get to where the Explorers, how they do that hiring for the cadets. How I understand it is they have like different columns, right? Of like DPS students, people in Denver, and then people outside of Denver. All Explorers now, it's written in their policy that they will fall under column A and be looked at with DPS students. Because we do have a lot of kids that, they go to schools in Douglas County, right? But they're willing to put in the work here and visit our community and help this community out. So it's great as well. And we were losing them. So now that just happened in 2023. So when they did hiring for cadet program in December of 23, they actually, I say stole, but I wanted them to go to that program, right? But they took 7 kids, which was great because we've never had that. So they took, but I lost a lot of my command staff amongst Explorers, right? But it was great because they advanced, right? And that's what we want them to do. We want them to move from Explorers to cadets and then get hired on here and have a career. So that's kind of where we're at right now with all that. We got it worked out, and we got a good pipeline, if you will, to get into that cadet program.
It's great, super helpful. I could ask you questions forever, but I really do appreciate the time and just the information.
Yeah, really great.
I will add why I would still recommend the preference for Explorers, because I do have a lot of kids that don't want to go to the cadet program, like that are like, I'm not interested in that. But they're still dedicating those next couple of years, those next 3 years to still serving our city, right? And if they stay, a lot of value in that, lots of value in still keeping them, right? Even though they don't want to go to the cadet thing, they want to go to a different school or whatever their stuff looks like. My son's an example. He's a District 1 officer now. He didn't want to do the cadet program. So he stayed in Explorer, and he was Explorer for 7 years, almost 7 years, and then he came on the department. So that's why that kind of needs to
When you
have
say came
another.
You mean, you went to the academy? When you say came onto the department?
Yes, he's a police officer. He graduated, he's a 22 badge number, so he's been on 2 years.
So the cadet program, as I understand, is something between going to the academy and being an explorer, right?
Yes,
It's a different program, I got you.
yeah, two totally separate things. That's, you gotta be 18 years old
Mhm,
or above, and you gotta have graduated high school,
mhm.
and that's, you're paid part-time for those positions, and your college is paid through, Denver Metro or CU Denver. You have to go to those two schools. And that's why I'm saying, like, I might have kids, I've had kids that wanna go to, UNC or go somewhere else,
Mhm,
and they don't wanna do that.
mhm.
So I don't wanna lose them. I wanna be able to get them when they're done,
Right.
you know?
They put in a lot of time too.
Right.
All the time.
Right. Well, thank you.
Can I ask?
No. I'm kidding.
I understand.
I'm kidding.
So when you talk about losing people, are we talking about a situation where the Explorer is given a choice either to stay with Denver or to go somewhere to a different, like Arapahoe County or Jefferson County or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I mean by losing them.
And
right?
so they are choosing someone else over us?
Yes.
Do we know why?
Typically because they are looking to move them up in the process and give them preference points because they were an explorer.
All right, so they are all, these other people are offering something we're not offering.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, and that's why they're going to Arapahoe County, they're going to State Patrol, they're going to those other places. No, I mean, some of them, you're still gonna lose people, right?
Yeah.
We could have, you can get 15 preference points, right? And you're almost guaranteed in, and some people are still gonna go, because that's, they wanna go do it somewhere else. I don't, you're never gonna totally get rid of that, but
Yeah.
we're losing way more.
Or we have a sense of why we're losing.
Right, yeah, it's really our process.
No, and and that's kind of that data question, right? Because this is, on its face, it makes sense, if we look at trend data here, look for reasons, if we look for attrition rates, but that kind of gives us a really good picture, so. Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Sergeant, I think Deputy Chief Sanchez was an explorer.
Yes,
Yeah, so, yeah.
Commander Bowser was an explorer.
Yeah. He mentioned that to me. So, yeah, so thank you for what you do, obviously, you and the rest of the officers that work along with you. So thank you so much. Give us a lot to think about and talk about, so I appreciate that.
Can I add something just very, very briefly?
Sure.
My thoughts have, I don't know, evolved is the right word, certainly not devolved, I don't think, around preference points over time, because we had this conversation years ago
Yeah.
around the cadet piece. And I like the idea, because I do think there's a lot of stuff there, we can certainly talk about this later. The one wondering I think the commission had around that was aligning the process, right? So that someone, for instance, let's say there was an opportunity for someone who would otherwise be ineligible or would be under a lot of scrutiny if they had not become an explorer, let's say a felony or something like that, right? And just aligning that, I think as long as I felt like we were aligned on the application, I don't think we're far apart. I would be a big proponent of that. I like that idea of maybe years and maybe points attached to it, because someone that's committed 6 years to that, like that's someone who has a lot of stuff, and I would absolutely support. Obviously, someone who's like that for 6 months is a different situation, but I think I would support that. We can certainly talk about that. I think also we have the conversation with the cadet program as well. I think that also it would make sense to do that in alignment with that as well. Yeah.
Agreed. No, definitely a lot to chew on for sure. Thank you. Next, we're gonna go to the initiation of formal rulemaking process. So ED Perez.
Thank you. Brandon, can you pull up the presentation, please? All right, so we have come to this. If you all recall, we presented some information on the couple of rule changes that we are going to embark. And so we're going to start with the marijuana rule change. There we go. All right, so I'm sure we all know what this is. We've discussed this, so I'm just gonna power through them, commissioners. So basically, numerous discussions have been held with different stakeholders regarding the modification of commission rules concerning candidates' use of marijuana. The existing rule stipulates that candidates must not have consumed marijuana within 12 months prior to their application date. The proposed new rule will mandate that candidates affirm they will cease marijuana use from the date of their application. In addition to alignment with state laws and reduction of barriers to entry into classified service, the proposed rule change aims to emphasize performance and conduct during training and employment rather than prior personal behavior, make public safety careers more accessible to individuals who have legally consumed marijuana without compromising standards during training, and make the agency's recruitment policies more reflective of contemporary societal norms and could increase diversity among applicants. Next slide, please. So these are just some background information that you have, that we have for you. Analysis revealed that approximately 212 candidates in calendar year 23 and approximately 338 candidates in calendar year 24 were disqualified because of their declaration of use of marijuana within the last 12 months prior to the date of application. We have received support from DPD and DFD on the proposed changes to the rules as well. So what we just want to emphasize is despite the change in it, despite the proposed rule change, the departments will continue to align or be in compliance with Executive Order 94, which really has these sort of safety or safeguards, if you will, in place. And Civil Service Commission will not make any changes to the drug screening process. So there is an opportunity for us, even if they declared at the time of application that they will cease, if the drug screening were to yield, then there's an opportunity for the Department of Safety to be able to review the candidate files further. And then next slide, please. So the impacted rules for this proposed rule change are Rules 1, definitions, page 11, and Rule 3, Section 6, subsections I1 and I8. So we would like to request the decision of the Board of Commissioners to proceed with a rule making. If approved, the following timelines would be adhered to. The notice of proposed rulemaking will be published after the meeting today. Complete text of proposed rule, including the red lines, will be posted between January 22nd and through February 12th. And then we will have a public hearing scheduled for February 12th. Commissioners, I would like to request your decision to approve or deny the proposed rulemaking on the marijuana.
Do we need to put it to a vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we need to
Bob,
make,
correct?
right, okay. So we need to make a motion, first of all, that we accept the rulemaking initiation as it relates to the marijuana rule change. Okay?
So moved.
Motion's been moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved, properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye? 3 ayes?
Thank
All
you,
right.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
All right, we move on to the next initiation of rulemaking for the citizenship rule change. In November 24 election, ballot measure 2T passed, amending the requirement that police officers and firefighters be United States citizens. The filing with the Secretary of State occurred on November 22. The Civil Service Commission must now change its rules to comply with the charter amendment. The impacted rule is Rule 3, qualifications for application and original appointment, page 1, table of contents, and section 2, subsections A and B. Next slide, please. With this in mind, we would like to request the Board of Commissioners to approve the rulemaking initiation to change the rules on citizenship. We will follow the same timeline if approved. We will publish the notice today after the meeting, January 22nd. We will post the completed text of proposed rule changes between January 22nd through February 12th and hold a public hearing on February 12th. Commissioners?
All right, let's make this motion. I'm gonna make a motion that the commission votes on the rulemaking initiation for the citizenship change rule.
So moved.
Second.
So move, properly second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Commissioner Candidate Experience Survey.
All right, so thank you so much, commissioners, and now we move on to just an informational item. Next slide, please. As one of the process improvement strategies that we have aligning with agency goal number 2 for 2025, achieving 80% candidate experience satisfaction score, strategies that we develop and implement a candidate experience survey. So this survey will be conducted, direct feedback from candidates. I'm a little lost here. Direct candidates from candidates about their perception of the hiring process will allow the agency to increase candidate engagement, identify areas for improvement, attract more qualified individuals, make data-driven decisions, improve overall hiring efficiency, and improve diversity and inclusion efforts. Next slide, please. So this is how it's the look and feel. We will use Microsoft. We will do the survey through Microsoft Forms, which the candidates can complete online or via their mobile devices. They can respond 24/7. Our intent by process is to send to candidates within 3 to 5 business days following final disposition. So this is whether they get hired or they get disqualified. We would like to hear about their experience. And we plan to send to 24 candidates to serve as a baseline data because we don't have that currently. And then as we move forward, we want to implement it effective February 1st, 2025. So this is a survey. They can click on what position they applied for so we know. And then next slide, please. It'll have a series of questions. There will be 9 questions in the survey, i.e. how did you first hear about the position? I used information materials available because we want to make sure that the information materials we have available to the candidates are useful. And then did the application process meet your expectations in terms of ease and user friendliness? And then how satisfied were you with the communication during the application process? I.e. our acknowledgement, emails, updates on the application status, response to inquiries. Again, it's heavily emphasized on how efficient we're moving through the process, but also how we are effectively communicating throughout the process with the candidates. And then moving to the next slide, please. We want to also know, what parts of what stage of the process are they most satisfied and what they believe we can most improve upon. And that way we can work internally or, collaboratively with our partners to improve these processes. And then we want them to tell us more, like, for example, if they feel like we can do better in the background investigator interview, we kind of want to hear what about in that background investigator interview process that you would like to see improved. And did you feel the application process was administered fairly and without bias? This is really, really important because we are an equal employment opportunity employer. And then were there any elements of the application process that stood out positively for you? We don't just want to hear about the things that we can improve upon, but our team works so hard, so we definitely want to hear about what we could be doing successfully or right. And then is there anything we could have done differently to improve your candidate experience?
So Gracie, question 6 really is referring to question 5, right?
Correct.
So we need to fix that. The second question is,
Yeah.
the second question is, how many prompts are they going to get to fill out the survey? Like, are we going to ask more than once, hey, please fill out the survey? How many times are we going to do that, you think?
I honestly haven't thought that far, but in my experience, anything more than 2 prompts is annoying.
Okay.
So maybe one time when they get disposition and maybe a tickler to follow up in 10 days, say they haven't, and
Okay.
then move on.
Okay.
I have a question too, and this is regarding the platform that you're talking about rolling this out. That's a Microsoft platform, but do we currently have any SurveyMonkey accounts or anything like that to make it more, on a tech, to make it more, accommodate more tech platforms? Sometimes Microsoft is restricted, especially when we talk about Google Phones and other, maybe want to explore other options
Okay.
out there that'll be more,
Yeah.
technically ambiguous. So that's just
I
a
think
thought,
that's a really good idea.
you know?
I like SurveyMonkey personally
so, yeah.
because of the data analytics that you can achieve from the responses of
Yeah.
SurveyMonkeys.
And it doesn't have those platform
Correct.
things.
So it's definitely worth exploring.
Okay.
Thank you.
The second one is the demographic information being collected along with this, as we're talking about understanding who's impacted by what, kind of help us shape that, so, and that's male, female, that's,
Mhm.
period.
Not on this survey, but we can certainly include, although in the candidate, like in our recruitment, we have those demographic information.
Okay, so you know, yeah,
Like-
we can know based on that.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All right. Commission review candidates, we're moving right along.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna get Noah to his 4 o'clock.
I mean, let's get done at 4 o'clock, but it got rescheduled, so.
Thank you, we appreciate it. But Commissioner Gardner.
Take your time, yeah.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, sir.
It's like, how dare you.
Sorry, we're teasing. All right. Thank you so much, Commissioner Gardner. We are moving along to item number 7, Commissioner review of candidates. And starting with candidate number 13948, Commissioner Moore,
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner,
Pass?
Commissioner Stout.
Pass.
Candidate number 317976, Commissioner Stout. I'm sorry, let me start with you.
You can pass.
Commissioner Moore,
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner.
Bill?
Candidate 173255, Commissioner Stout,
Pass.
Commissioner Moore,
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner.
Pass?
Candidate 317329, Commissioner Stout,
Pass.
Commissioner Moore,
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner.
Pass?
Candidate 2117, Commissioner Stout,
Pass.
Commissioner Moore,
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner.
Pass?
Candidate 31473, Commissioner Stout,
Pass.
Commissioner Moore,
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner.
Pass?
Candidate 314373, Commissioner Stout,
147, pass, sorry.
Commissioner Moore,
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner.
Pass?
Candidate,
Can I ask a question, Gracie? Did you
Yes.
skip 2117?
no.
Okay.
So now we are on candidate 316103. Commissioner Stout,
Sorry, I missed, fail.
Commissioner Moore,
Which one is that again?
316103.
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner,
Bill?
candidate 304482. Commissioner Stout,
Hold.
Commissioner Moore,
At a hold.
Commissioner Gardner.
Bill?
Candidate 314071. Commissioner Stout,
Pass.
Commissioner Moore,
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner.
Pass?
Candidate 11400. Commissioner Stout,
Just making sure, right, hold.
Commissioner Moore,
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner.
Hold?
Candidate 313053. Commissioner Stout,
Pass.
Commissioner Moore,
Pass.
Commissioner Gardner.
Pass?
Candidate 138194. Commissioner Stout,
Fail.
Commissioner Moore,
Fail.
Commissioner Gardner.
Bill?
Jeanette, do you have the tally?
I'm counting, I missed one, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
So I missed, candidate 316103.
316103, Commissioner Stout fails, Commissioner Moore passes, Commissioner Gardner fails.
We have, we had 2 passes, 2 fails on that one, right?
We only count the ones right here.
Gotcha. Sorry. Pass. So we have 2 on hold. And pass. And 1 who fails.
I have 2 fails. 316103
36103.
and 138194.
Right, pass, I mean fail, sorry, 2 fail.
We have two holds, 2 fails, 10 pass.
Right.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Need a motion, I'll make the motion, to accept, candidates, 2 hold, 2 fail, 10 pass for a total of 14. Just need a second.
Sorry.
Motion's been moved, properly seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, ayes have it. Now we're gonna open for comments from staff or any of our public members that may have joined us today.
Commissioner Gardner, if you do not mind, I would like to start off with the comments from staff. And
Sure.
on behalf of the Civil Service Commission, I would like to call on Commissioners Moore and Commissioner Stout.
I will start. I just wanted, this is, I believe, your last meeting and, unless you change your mind.
Are you gonna change your mind?
Exactly. We left it open there. And I just wanted to say thank you for your service. I know we had, I think I wrote an email to you about this and definitely some text. But just, thank you for your service. There's been a up and down few years. And you stepped into this and you, I think, always led with equity, which I always appreciated. I think you held us all very accountable. And we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. But we know you're literally through the door, so you're not far away. And I know the commission, the staff and commissioners wanted to present to you this.
Thank you.
Token of our.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Good. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, take a picture.
Oh.
I want to do by the flag.
I haven't wore a coat today. We're moving in the flag.
Go by the flag, okay.
We're making it official.
That's it.
Thank you.
All right.
Middle there.
Yeah, you're definitely in the middle.
Just hold it up.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
It has definitely been my honor to do this.
Thank you, Commissioner Gardner. I'm
Yes,
so
thank
sad,
you.
just when we followed you to the web building, you're leaving us. It has been so easy asking you to come down versus to cross the street,
Yeah.
but I wanted to hear from the staff if the staff had any words for Commissioner Gardner, not to put anyone on the staff, on the spot.
Don't all speak at once. And I bought pizza today too, because I knew this was my last day and none of you showed up.
He's totally kidding.
He's totally.
You're off to a good start, though.
Yeah,
So that's how you do it, right, in politics.
well, hey, territory.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, thank you. You guys have been great, so thank you. All right, any comments from public? Perfect. Do we need to adjourn this? Again, move to adjourn.
So moved.
And get a second. All right. Motion's been moved, trustee second. We are adjourned. Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Do you want these back?
No,